Good day, welcome to chapter 3, lesson 1, and we will talk about the information age. But before we proceed to our discussion, let's have first our objectives. So, you are expected to learn, be able to define what is information age, and discuss the history of information age, and understand the factors that need to be considered in checking website sources. So we can observe that we are highly modernized, automated, data-driven, and technologically advanced. So this best describe our society nowadays as evidence of how information could have been transferred or shared quickly. So the different areas of society have been influenced tremendously, such as communication, industry, economic, health, and the environment. Despite our gains due to the growing development of information technology, the upgrade of information also has disadvantages. So this lesson, we will discuss the history and the impact of technological advancement to society. So, what is information age? So, life is accompanied by endless transmission of information that takes place within and the outside the human body. According to Webster's Encyclopedic Unabridged Dictionary, information is knowledge communicated or obtained concerning a specific fact or circumstance. Hence, information is a very important tool for survival. The information age is defined as a period starting in the last quarter of the 20th century when information became effortlessly accessible through publications and through the management of information by computers and computer networks. The means conveying symbolic information, writing, math, other codes among humans has evolved with increasing speed. The information age is also called the digital age, and the new media age it was associated with the development of computers. According to James R. Messenger, who proposed the theory of information age in 1982, by the way, James R. Messenger is the father of information age, and he is the American Telephone and Telegraph Company employee who conceived the theory of the information age on 1982. So, the information age is a true new age based upon the interconnection computers via telecommunications, with this information system operating in both a real-time and as-needed basis. Furthermore, the primary factors driving this new age forward are convenience and user-friendliness, which in return will create user dependence. Information age. So, before the 300 BC, the Sumerian writing system used pictograms to represent words. So they use a Sumerian civilization, first civilization in Mesopotamia. They use cuneiform, or cuneiform means wedge shape marks and clay tablets made by means or plain threads for a stylus or more linear. So in 2900 BC, this is the beginnings of Egyptian hieroglyphic script. Hieroglyphic hero means holy and glypho means writing. They combine lithographic, syllabic, and alphabetic elements, total of some 1000 distinct characters, and those characters are more detailed. So in 1300 BC, they used tortoise shell and oracle bone writings were used, and it was the earliest written records of Chinese civilization. So the oracle bones are the shoulder blades of oxen or plastrons of turtles, or the carapsi also they is the outer shell of turtles, and they used during the Shang dynasty formation. So in 500 BC, they use also the what we call the papyrus was used. So papyrus made from plant and is chief writing material in ancient Egypt. They are flexible, smooth surface which accepts and retains inks without blur or smudge. In 220 BC, the Chinese small cell writing was developed. So small cell script is small and vertically rectangular form of Shaotian small cell script, leading further to creating the first Chinese dictionary, the Arya. So they remained popular through the Han Dynasty. So they preserved this on numerous stone stelae or inscribed stone slabs used for official documents and ceremonial purposes, the archaic form of Chinese calligraphy. So in 100 AD, the used book or the parchment codex, the replacement for papyrus roll. The parchment is made from the skin of an animal. It is also the oldest books made from compiled parchment. In 105 AD, the use woodblock printing and paper was invented by the Chinese. So this image is carved in reverse on a piece of wood. The block is then inked and printed on a substance like paper or fabric. So ink is made from plant pigments, animal liquids, or animal bile. In 1455, Johannes Gutenberg invented the movable printing press. So this movable printing press more efficient than the wood block printing style. This uses movable components to reproduce information on a medium or paper. So in 1755, Samuel Johnson published his book A Dictionary of the English Language. So it is the standardized English spelling, one of the most influential dictionaries in the history of English language. It consists of more than 40,000 words. It is written for 8 years, used in clarification of English words. So in 1802, Library of Congress was established in US, and it is the main research arm of the US. This is the largest library in the world, and it has also 200 million resources per year, mainly for lawmaking. It used carbon arc lamp. It was also invented. It contains two carbon rods, and when are touched together, it produces an electric arc. So in 1824, the Research on Persistence of Visions, or POV, was published. So POV is concept of how our brain sees individual images as a sequence of motion. When still images are fast tracked, it appears like it is moving. It leads to motion picture. So in 1830s, it is the first design of digital computer was made. They called computer because it is mainly for computing basic arithmetic operations. Charles Babbage, who is the father computer, is the inventor. Called this invention as analytical engine. So Augusta Lady Byron also commissioned to translate notes into English, and then augmented it to make the first ever computer program assisted by Babbage. So in 1837, telegraph was invented. Telegraph was invented by Samuel Morse, revolutionized long-distance communication and transmit electric signals over the wire led between stations. Morse code is a set of dots and dashes to each letter of the English alphabet. Simple transmission of complex messages across telegraph lines used in World War I. In 1861, first motion pictures were projected into screen. A series of still pictures were projected rapidly by means of light, which resulted to an illusion of moving pictures, persistence of vision. In 1876, the Dewey Decimal System was introduced by Melville Dewey, used for locating books in the library, organized the books according to its genre for us to acquire information immediately. In 1877, high-speed photography was performed by Edward Muybridge. Edward Muybridge placed 24 cameras on the field that captured series of still photos of running horse. It improved the quality of still images being projected on the screen. Thus, it enhanced the overall quality of motion pictures. So in 1877, the use high-speed photography was performed by Edward Muybridge. So it placed 24 cameras on the field that capture series of still photos of running horse. It improved the quality of still images being projected on the screen. Thus, it enhanced the overall quality of motion pictures. So in 1899, first magnetic recording were released. The first experiments with magnetism as a medium for storing sound information was credited to engineer Valdemar Poulsen. With this invention, sound recording was made easier to produce, which helped to further develop motion pictures as sound was integrated to it. So in 1902, motion picture special effects were used. George Méliès, a filmmaker, introduced innovative special effects and motion pictures. He used tricks and animations. He also incorporated sound effects. And in 1906, electronic amplifying tube was invented by Lee de Forest, the first ride consisting of an navigated glass tube containing three electrodes. It is used as an amplifier for both audio and radio signals and electric circuits. So in 1923, Vladimir Zaraiskin, father of television, he has two key components, the iconoscope and kinescope. So in iconoscope, it is an early electronic camera tube used to scan image for the transmission of television, contain a photosensitive plate or mosaic which divided the image to be televised into tiny sections called pixels. So in 1926, first practical sound movie was produced. So Don Juan, who was the owner of Warner Brothers, first Vitaphone sound film he developed by Bell Telephone Laboratories in 1926. In 1939, they began regular U.S. television broadcasting on April 30, broadcast by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, opening the New York World's Fair, seen by an estimated 1,000 viewers, roughly 200 televisions. These programs were transmitted from the NBC mobile camera tracks to the main transmitter, which was connected to an aerial atop to the Empire State Building. So in 1940s, the beginning of information science as discipline, or the information science. Information science is the computer science, cognitive science, psychology, mathematics, system science, and etc. So it is as a discipline, it is discipline that deals with the process of storing and transferring information. So in 1945, Vannevar Bush foresaw the invention of hypertext, or the mimics, name of the hypothetical proto-hypertext that Bush described in his 1945 then Atlantic Monthly article As We May Think, a device in which individuals would compress and store all their books, records, and communications. So it has influenced the development of early hypertext systems, eventually leading to the creation of the World Wide Web, a personal knowledge-based software. So in 1946, ENIAC computer was developed, electronic numerical integrator and computer, the first electric general-purpose computer built during World War II by the US. So in 1948, field of information theory born out of Claude Shannon's landmark paper, Mathematical Theory of Communication, invention of the compact desk, the feasibility of mobile phones, the development of the internet, the study of linguistics and of human perception, the understanding of black holes, and numerous other fields. So in 1957, the planar transistor was developed by Jean Hardy. In 1958, they used the first integrated circuit, and also in 1960s, the Library of Congress developed LC Mark. And in 1969, Unix operating system was developed, which could handle multitasking. So in 1971, introduced the first microprocessor chip, and so in 1972, optical laserdisc was developed by Philips and MCA, and also in 1974, Philips and MCA agreed on the standard videodisc encoding format. And also in 1975, Altair microcomputer was released. It is the first personal computer for the public. So in 1977, Unix operating system was developed which could handle multitasking. In 1984, Apple Macintosh computer was introduced. The Macintosh was the first computer to come with a graphical user interface and a mouse pointing device as standard equipment. With the coming of the Mac, the personal microcomputer began to undergo a major revolution in its purpose in serving humankind. No longer merely a mathematical tool of scientists, banks, and engineers, the micro was becoming the tool of choice for many graphics artists, teachers, instructional designers, librarians, and information managers. So in mid-1980s, artificial intelligence develops a separate discipline for information science, with the development of computer programming involving ever-increasing levels of complexity, inheritance, and code reuse culminating in object-oriented programming. The software foundations for AI were laid. Artificial intelligence today is best defined as a collection of electronic information processing tool that can be applied in a myriad of innovative ways to existing information technologies. So in 1987, HyperCard was developed by Bill Atkinson. Apple Computer introduced HyperCard to the public by bundling it with all new Macintosh computers. HyperCard made hypertext document linking possible for the average person who wished to build an information network linking all his or her electronic documents that could be entered or pasted into HyperCard stack. HyperCard is a useful development tool for a wide range of applications, including multimedia presentations and computer-based training materials. It is a built-in script language or HyperTalk. So in 1991, World Library Incorporated produced a fully searchable CD-ROM containing 450, later expanded to 953 classical works of literature and historic documents. This demonstrated the power of CD-ROM as a greater storage capacity than optical laserdisc to take the text content of several bookshelves and concentrate it on one small piece of plastic. So in 1987, RSA Internet Security, Encryption, and Network Security software to provide protection for the data and information in the Internet.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah Hines from BS Ed Filipino. And today, I'm going to tackle about the truth of the information age. So Robert Harris detailed some facts on the information age. And here are some information. So first, information must compete. There is a need for information to stand out and be recognized in the increasing clutter. So in today's world, we are inundated with an overwhelming amount of information from various sources. So with the rise of the internet and social media, the competition for attention has become even more intense. So in order for the information to be noticed and remembered, it must stand out from the rest of the clutter. So this is why marketers and advertisers uses various strategies to make their content more attention-grabbing, such as eye-catching visuals, catchy headlines, and engaging storytelling. So the same applies to individuals who want their ideas or opinions to be acknowledged. So they need to present their information in a way that is clear, concise, and compelling to capture the attention of their audience. So second, newer is equated with truer. We forgot the truth that any fact or value can endure. So in some cases, people tend to believe that newer information is more accurate or up-to-date than older information. So this may be because of the rapid pace of the technological advancement and the constant flow of new information that we are exposed to. So however, it is important to recognize that not all new information is necessarily true or accurate. Similarly, not all old information is necessarily outdated or irrelevant. So additionally, it is important to recognize the value of traditional knowledge and wisdom that has been passed down through generations and may still be relevant and useful today. And the third one is, selection is a viewpoint. Choose multiple sources for your information if you want to receive a more balanced view of reality. So when researching any topic, it is important to choose multiple choices in order to get a balanced view of reality. So by relying on just one source of information, you are limiting your perspective and potentially missing out on important information that may challenge or contradict that one source. So having multiple sources can help you identify biases and inconsistencies, and can also provide you a wider range of opinions and perspective on the topic. So this can help you form a more informed and well-rounded viewpoint. So this will be all of my report, and thank you very much everyone for listening.
Good day everyone, I am VME Amplio Keppel from BSED Filipino. So, truths of the information age. Number 4. The media sells what the culture buys. In other words, information is driven by cultural priorities. So, the media is driven by profits, and profits are generated by giving the audience what they want. Therefore, the media tends to cater to the cultural priorities for its audience in order to maximize profits. For example, sensationalized news stories about celebrities or crime may receive more coverage than important corruption. I mean, important issues such as climate change or political corruptions. It is important for individuals to be aware of this, tendency, and to actively seek out information and news sources that prioritize accuracy, balance, and objectively over sensationalism and entertainment value. By doing so, they can gain a more informed and announced understanding of the world around them and make more informed decisions or us as citizens. Number 5. The early word gets the sperm. The first media channel to expose an issue often defines the context, terms, and attitudes surrounding it. The early word gets the permanent impression because the first media channel to expose an issue often sets the tone for how it will be perceived and discussed in the wider public sphere. The media has the power to shape public opinion and influence the way people think about a particular issues or event. The first media channel to report on a story often sets the agenda for how the story will be covered by other media outlets, and can even influence the political and social response to the issues. It is important for the media to approach the reporting with objectively and balance, and to be mindful to the potential impact the reporting can have the public opinion and perception. By doing so, they can help ensure that issues are discussed in a fair and constructive manner, and that the public is well informed about the issues that affect them. Number 6. You are what you eat, and so is your brain. Do not draw conclusions unless all ideas and information are presented to you. The phrase, "so is your brain," highlights the importance of feeding our mind valuable and accurate information. It is crucial to approach any situation with an open mind. Avoid jumping to conclusion and seek all available information before making a judgment. By doing so, we can make informed decision and avoid false ideas or incomplete information. That's all. Thank you.
Anything in great demand will be counterfeited. The demand for incredible knowledge, scandals, and secrets is ever present. Hence, many events are fabricated by tabloids, publicists, or other against information fraud. Meaning, so as you can see, sobrang dami na talaga ng products available because of information. Okay? Ma-TV, ma-radyo, magazine, sa laptops nyo, mga ads, sobrang dami na. So once we have an available information about that, nagkakaroon na tayo ng counterfeited or nag-i-steal na tayo. Ini-imitate yung mga bagay na yon, and that's what we call great demand will be counterfeited. Kung ano yung sikat, yun ang ginagaya. Next, ideas are seen as controversial. It is almost certainly impossible to make any assertion that will not find supporters and some detractors. Aminin natin po, most of the information na inire-release, lagi tayong may question. Lagi lagi nating tinatanong kung ito ba'y tama, kahit simpleng information lang, lagi nating binibigyan ng big deal. Because that is information, the truth about information. Next. Indeed, information walks on their own. Rumors, lies, disinformation, and gossips never truly die down. They persist and continues to circulate. So that means ang information ay hindi natin kayang pigilan. Yan ay kahit anong gawin natin, ang information will be spread. Next. Media presents creates the story. People behave much differently from the way they would if being filmed when the media are present, especially film news or television media. So meaning, basta may media, there's a behind story. Laging may pangyayari. Number 11. The medium selects the message. Television is mainly pictorial, partially oral, and slightly textual to visual. The stories are emphasized, fire, chases, and disaster. Just like in true life. So kahit sabihin mo yung mga positive and negative about sa'yo, once yung medium o yung tao na nakikinig sa'yo ay yung gusto lamang marinig is yung negative side mo, hindi mo sila mapipilit. And that is about information age. Kahit na maganda yung information mo na binibigay sa kanila, once na namimili yung tao, your medium, yun yung sinasabi nating medium selects the message. Number 2. The whole truth is pursued. The information that reaches us is usually selected, verbally, charged, filtered, slanted, and sometimes fabricated. What is neglected is often even more important than what is included. Aminin na natin po o hindi, lagi nating hinahanap is yung katotohanan. We are always chasing with the truth, and that is the meaning of the whole truth is pursued.
Computer is an electronic device that stores and processes data or information. So there are 7 types of computer. The first one is PC or personal computer. This is a single-user instrument. PCs were first known as microcomputers since they were a computer that built on a smaller scale than the enormous system operated by most businesses.
Personal computer is used to create spreadsheets, write papers, run databases, and many other tasks too. And at home, it is widely used for playing games. Next one is desktop computer. It is described as a PC that is not designed for portability. The assumption with this desktop is that it will be set up in a permanent spot. So, kaning desktop computer, usually makita nato siya sa mga office, sa mga schools. Kaning desktop computer kay parehas siya sa PC na complete setup na siya monitor, keyboard, mouse, and CPU. Then, next one is laptop. These are portable computers that integrate the essential of a desktop computer in a battery-powered package, which are somewhat larger than a typical hardcover book. Sa laptop, isa lang pod ka person ang makagamit ani of mas dali siya gamiton kaysa sa desktop computer kay ani siya pwede ra namo siya madala bisan asa ka mo adto. The next one is PDA or personal digital assistant. These are tightly integrated computers that usually wear no keyboard but rely on touchscreen for users' input. Tapos ano niya kay kana electronic digital price. So kay high-tech naman kayo ta karon with the help of technology. Madali na lang kaayo para sa ato ang magamit labi naging ana. Di para sa una nga magtansya-tansya pa og pila na karon kay o gamito na nimo siya kay mogawas na diretso ang price. Sigutang lang to nimo imong gipalit niya ikaw man magawas ng price kung pila siya. The next one is server. Server is a computer program or device that provides service to another computer program and its user. Its is also called as the client. Is mainframe. Mainframe is a huge computer system that can fill an entire room. They are used especially by large firms to describe the large expensive machines that process millions of transactions every day. Mainframe is critical to commercial databases, transaction service, and application that requires high resiliency and security. So, kadalasan mo na siyang ginagamit sa mga bangko. Computer. They involve materials that are usually integrated into cell phones, watches, and other email objects. So, kaning wearable computers kay muna atong makita ug kasagaran nato nga ginagamit especially smartphones o kanang watches na namang relo karon nung nga kanang touch screen. So kana siya pwede ta maka set og schedules nato, pwede pud ta makita sa mga weather or unsa ba. They perform common computer application such as databases, email, multimedia, and schedules.
Hi everyone, my name is Fem Ross and my topic is all about the World Wide Web or Internet. Several historians trace the origin of the Internet to Claude E. Shannon, an American mathematician who was considered as the father of information theory. He worked at the Bell Laboratories and at the age of 32, he published a paper proposing that information can be quantitatively encoded as a sequence of ones and zeros. Internet is a worldwide system of interconnected network that facilitate data transformation among enumerated computers. It was developed during the 1970s by the Department of Defense. The Internet remained under government control until 1984. Sergey Brin and Larry Page, directors of the Stanford Research Project, built a research engine that listed results to reflect page popularity when they determined that the most popular result would frequently be the most usable. Google is now the world's most popular search engine, accepting more than 200 million queries daily. Current information age has found its own breed of wealthy, influential brokers from Microsoft Bill Gates to Apple Steve Jobs to Facebook Mark Zuckerberg.
Hello everyone, I'm Genesis Gonzalez and my topic is all about the applications of computers in science and research. So, what is bioinformatics? One of the significant applications of computers for science and research is relevant and evident in the field of bioinformatics. And bioinformatics is the application of technology to store, organize, and analyze vast amount of biological data which is available in the form of sequences and structures of protein. Protein mo na siya ang the building blocks of organisms, and the nucleic acids which is the information carrier according to the Madan ND. So 80% of that's how our protein is similar to the coding genes than to those of mice. So humans are larger, smarter, and live longer than mice. So not to mention the fact that humans don't have the fur or the tail. The reason we have been able to calculate our similarity to mice is because of massive effort to sequence the genomes of humans. So this undertaking is what we call the Human Genome Project. So as well as human sequencing, the genomes of mice, and many other organisms. Genome sequencing involves the reading through the A's, the T's, the G's, and the C's that make up our DNA. So what is DNA again? This is the deoxyribonucleic acid, and it has given us a lot of information about what are genes and how they are being organized. So, and it helps us to improve how we diagnose and even treat human diseases. But genome sequencing involves generating very large sets of data. Very large meaning dagko nga mga data. So we need powerful tools to decipher all those ATGCs ng mga sequencing. So this is where the rapidly growing field of bioinformatics comes in. So extremely powerful computers, muna siya ang need and being used to store and to manipulate all of this data. And the people behind of this bioinformatics, kay ginatawag sila nga bioinformatician scientists. And they are often trained both in biology as well as math and computer science. These multidisciplinary researchers develop methods and software tools, programs, computers to dig through and make sense of all of this data. So how did bioinformatics help us learn that humans and mice have 80% similarity in their protein coding genes? So one way that bioinformatics approach this type of question is by looking for small sequences in one genome that match the other genome. So this is like doing a word search on your computer, but instead searching for mag-scan ka sa imong computer for the ATT, GCA, CGT, CTA. Kaya mao man ni ang sequence sa genome. So if makita nimo nga one matching areas are found, then ang researchers dayon mag-design na siya og algorithms, and these algorithms that can scan past the ends of both sequences to see just how far the matching regions extend. So in this case, to do the letters after the CTA continue to match between the mouse and human sequences. If they do not and the difference is present, we can analyze the following sequence and start to figure out which genes are involved in many of the traits and make humans different from mice, like brain development and longevity. So in addition to finding the similarities and difference between the genomes of different organisms, sequencing technology has also allowed us to pick up differences in DNA between different people, and this has been particularly important because it helps us better understand human disease. So let's say, for example, you know a specific DNA base in a gene was different from person to person. So, and you wanted to see if that difference was important for diseases like diabetes. So you could sequence that base in 50 healthy people and 50 people with diabetes. So if 47 out of 50 people with diabetes has an A, while only 5 of those 50 people has no diabetes, wala siya diabetes, no. And that would be a strong evidence of association between A variant and the disease, but importantly, it does not mean that the variant causes the disease. No, ang researchers nag-develop na po og technologies to look across hundreds of thousands sites of genomes na makita dira sa imong cell, no, sa human cells, based on the differences, and have looked for correlation between certain bases and diseases. This experiment, known as the Genome Association Studies, sequencing and bioinformatics analysis are also becoming increasingly important for the diagnosis and treatment of cancer also. No, because ang bioinformatics, makita nga, kani si patient A na siya cancer compared ni patient B na ang iyang cancer is not benign. Usa man ang benign. Ano ang benign? Dili siya active, dili siya cancerous. Ang ginatawag na cancerous is katong mga malignant. So, makita gihapon through the use of bioinformatics na mabasa sa atong mga researchers na ginatawag nga bioinformaticians. So, as we learn more and more about the human's genomes and the cost of sequences decreases, ang doktor ana can order sequencing of parts of their patient genomes for relatively low cost by using algorithms to compare patient tumor cells to of many patients. The doctors can quickly pinpoint nga aka na siya sa iyang DNA naglahi na mutation na changes, no, in the DNA that are causing cancer cells to grow uncontrollably. Iyahang cancer cells dili na siya makontrol, dili na mamina og tambal, dili na mamina og chemotherapy, uncontrollably na gyud siya. Diha na si doctor moingon nga need na gina siya need na siya og surgery na i-pull out na iyang part na nga affected. So this help them to choose the best treatment for their patients. As our ability to sequence genomes continues to increase, so ang bioinformatics also nagkinahanglan to continue develop and faster, more advanced algorithms and to handle this massive data set. So kinahanglan gud ang computer sa bioinformatics para ang tanan nga mga kinahanglan ma-fast track. Next is the Swiss Prot Protein Sequence Database in 1996. This sequence is a curated protein sequence database which strives to provide a high level of annotation such as the description of the function of a protein, its domains, structure, post-translational modifications, variants, and etc. So SwissProt is a manually verified and annotated version of UniProt. Muna siya ang UniProt mo gina siya ang iyahang pinaka-main. So once the protein is sequenced and the sequence of amino acid is annotated and obtained, then you want to output the sequence into a database. This might help you to refer to the sequence. And if you make this database public, because this is a manually mga database, so that people also or the katong mga students na nag-need ani nga study, they can access this SwissProt anytime. SwissProt are commonly publicly available database and you can access them anytime and search for sequences of your choice kung gusto ka bisag unsa ma-search nimo. And there is a largest bioinformatics system in the world known as the European Bioinformatics Institute. And you can search the information there anything you want, no? Makita nimo to unsa ang kadaghanan ang protein sa isa ka human. Makita nimo na siya dira, ma-search nimo. SwissProt is containing over 500,000 protein sequences at the moment. In conclusion, SwissProt is the best way if you want to look verified and human annotated information. Computers and software tools are widely used for generating these databases and to identify the function of proteins, model the structure of proteins, determine the coding, usan ang coding katong mga useful lang ang mga regions of nucleic acid sequences, find suitable drug compounds from a large pool, and optimize the drug development process by predicting possible targets. So, ang mga, as I mentioned earlier, katong nagatrabaho sa bioinformatics nga what we call the bioinformatician scientists, kinahanglan gyud sila og mga extremely large computers para katong mga database ng mga large data of information, large biological data, mabasa dayon, ma-fast track dayon, magamit tayo sa doktor o maka-annotate tayo sila kung unsa man ang dapat nga nga treatment ana nga patient. Mahibal-an nila kung katuwa nga mga cells sa human body is naga-active pa ba siya, naga-react pa ba siya sa mga tambal. So makita kung katuba nga mga stable ba or ang count ba sa iyang protein sa lawas is normal lang, ang nucleic acid ba, ang mga sequencing sa mga genome is okay. Munang kinahanglan gyud ang computer ug kaning mga researchers pod is very dapat advance ang ilahang minds about aning mga software na ginagamit para sa bioinformatics. And these are some of the software tools which are handy. Handy lang din siya, madaladala. Kasi handy, madaladala, bisag asa. First is the BLAST. Kasi ang BLAST is a bioinformatics tools that compares biological sequence such as DNA, RNA, or proteins to find similarities. Ginagamit ning BLAST sa mga magpakuha og mga paternity test o kanila sila si father iyahaba ng anak, handy lang siya, dali lang kaayo siya, madala-dala bisag asa. Next is the Gene Finder, tool to identify coding regions and splice sites. Po na siya ang ginagamit kung gusto ka nga katong coding regions ba, si protein, si nucleic acid, na isa pa ba siya, useful pa ba siya. Muna ang ganito, Gene Finder. Pa-click nimo dira, ma-type nimo siya, para katong dito agyapon sa mga Swiss broth, katong unsa nimo ma-enter nimo sa imong gusto pangitaon. Kay si protein pila man na siya. Useful pa ba yang unsa ana? Diha nimo siya makita. And the last one is the annotator. Unsa man ang annotator? An interactive genome analysis tool. Si annotator sab muning ginagamit para ma-analyze ang imong genome cell sa isa ka tao. Makahatag din kag remarks nga dili sila unsa na di wala sila nagka-sequence. So unsa may need ani, makahatag dayon og remarks si makahatag dayon result si bioinformaticians kay doktor ug kani si doc makahatag dayon remarks para mo'y buhaton sa iyang patient. That would be all, ma'am and classmates. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Cheryl May Sanchez, and for the continuation of our report, I will be discussing about the importance of bioinformatics in the Human Genome Project, in pharmaceutical industries, and in plant biotechnology. So first, the Human Genome Project was an international scientific research project with the goal of determining the base pairs that make up the human DNA and of identifying, mapping, sequencing all of the genes of human genome from both a physical and functional standpoint. It started in 1990 and was completed in 2003. And it remains the world's largest collaborative biological project. That is why bioinformatics is very important in genetic research, since it is the tool that involves processing, storing, and analyzing biological data. And it may also include creating databases to store experimental data. So, bioinformatics enables us to handle huge amount of data involved and will be used to create personalized medicine of the future. And in the field of medicine, this means there will be wider field in which to discover potential cures to various diseases. In pharmaceutical industries, we have also pharmaceutical bioinformatics. It is a research field related in bioinformatics, but with a focus on studying biological and chemical processes on pharmaceutical area to understand how synbiotics interact with the human body and the drug discovery process. Drug discovery is one of the main applications in bioinformatics, and It helps the pharmaceutical industries to accelerate the drug target identification and candidate screening and refinement, and facilitate characterization of side effects and predict drug resistance. In plant biotechnology, bioinformatics is also very important. It helps in the field of agriculture to pave the way to understand plant evolution and use this knowledge to improve crops. Just like, for example, is that the chemicals we are using today just to control insect pests not to damage our crops. And in general, bioinformatics has a very good and great impact to humanity.
My topic for today is all about example of useful and reliable web sources. Internet Archive of CARLI digitized resources. So, Internet Archive is a digital library of books, music, and images that are freely available online. This is the great resources for anyone, as the collections contain a wide range of materials that related to the state history. Number 14. Internet Public Literacy. Internet Public Literacy is another digital library that provides users with access to a vast collection of historical documents, including books, journals, and photographs. These collections cover from slavery and Civil War to women's suffrage and the industrializations of America. Number 15. IP12, a merger of librarians, Internet Index, and Internet Public Literacy. A special interest may include the library criticism, which can be found after clicking on the special collections link. It provides access to a wide range of resources, including books, magazines, and newspapers, as well as special collections that focus on a specific topic, such as literacy criticism. Librarians Internet Index. So, Librarians Internet Index is a searchable directory of internet resources that have been selected and evaluated by librarians. So next, 17. Making of America, a digital library of primary sources in American social history. So, Making of America, it provides users with access to a vast collections of historical documents, including books, journals, and photographs. Number 18. Maps. From the University of Texas and Austin collections include thematic maps. The collections contains a vast array of maps from different periods, including maps of ancient civilizations, medieval Europe, and the modern world. Number 19. Nation Master. A massive central data source and a handy way to graphically compare nations. It is a vast compilation of data from such sources as the CIA World Factbook, UN, and CEO. So Nation Master is a users can compare data on different topics, including demographics, economics, and social issues. Number 20. Nursing sites. AHRQ www.ahrg.gov. AHRQ provides evidence-based research and tools that can help improve healthcare quality, safety, and effectiveness. National Guidelines Clearinghouse, www.guideline.gov, is a public resource for audience-based clinical practice guidelines. It contains guidelines from different organizations. Number 21. Project Gutenberg, the first and largest single collections of free electronic books with currently over 20,000 ebooks available. Project Gutenberg is an excellent resource for those looking for free electronic books. It is the first and largest single collections of free electronic books with over 20,000 ebooks currently available. Shoup is a literature, U.S. history, and poetry information written primarily by PhD and master's students from top universities like Stanford, Berkeley, Harvard, and Yale. So, Shoup is a great resource for those studying literature, U.S. history, and poetry. The information on the websites is written primarily by PhDs and students from top universities like UC Berkeley, Harvard, and Yale. State Master, a unique statistical database which allows you to research and compare a multitude of different data on us states using various primary sources such as the U.S. Census Bureau, the FBI, and the National Center for Educational Statistics. It uses visualizations technology like pie charts, maps, graphs, and scatter plots to provide data. So State Master is the websites uses visualizations technology like pie charts, maps, graphs, and scatter plot to provide data in an easy to understand format. Number 24. Virtual Reference. Virtual Reference selected web resources compiled by the Library of Congress. One can also visit the university library, seek help from the librarians as they are knowledgeable, and the library has a rich collection of online library resources that are very useful for academic and research purposes. So Virtual Reference, it provides selected web resources on various topics, including art, history, and science. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. These are the examples of useful and reliable web sources. Number 1. AFA e-newsletter, Alzheimer's Foundation of America newsletter. This foundation, they provide support, services, and education to individuals, families, and caregivers affected by Alzheimer's disease and related dementias nationwide, and fund research for better treatment and a cure. Number 2. American Memory, the Library of Congress Historical Digital Collection. It is an internet-based archive for public domain image resources as well as audio, video, and archive web content. Number 3. Bartleby.com, Great Books Online, a collection of free ebooks including fictions, non-fictions, references, and verses. Number 4. Chronicling America, search and view pages from American newspapers from 1880 to 1922. It is a website providing access to information about historic newspapers and select digitized newspapers pages. Number 5. Cyberbullying, a free collection of ebooks from eBrary plus additional reports and documents to help better understand, prevent, and take action against this growing concern. So many people na nakaranas ng cyberbullying. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng Cyberbullying Act. Number 6. Drug Information Websites. National Library and Medicines Midline Plus, Drugs.com, PDR Health. The Drug Information website gives users a getaway to selected drug information from the U.S. National Library of Medicine and other key U.S. government agencies. Global Gateway, World Culture and Resources from the Library of Congress. It stands for Sustainable and Trusted Connections that Work for People and the Planet. Global Books, a project developed by the company Google to create a fully digitized library available to users. GoogleScholar.com. It aims to rank documents the way researchers do, weighing the full text of each document, where it was published, who it was written by, as well as how often and how recently it has been cited in other scholarly literature. History sites with primary documents, AMDocs or AMDocs, documents for the study of American history. Avalon Project, documents in law, history, and diplomacy. Yale Law School. Internet Modern History Sourcebook, Colonial Latin America. Teacher Oz, Kingdom of History. Number 11. Illinois. The Illinois Digital Archives. The Illinois State Library working with libraries. Libraries, museums, and historical societies in Illinois provides this collection of materials related to Illinois history. Number 12. Internet Archive, a digital library of internet sites and other cultural artifacts in digital form. That's all. Thank you.